greetings to you. My name is Shelly, and my husband and I, along with our 4 kids, get to live life every day in Dolly, China. I'm a homeschool mom, and he is a first grade kindergarten teacher of English. And we consider this one of the greatest honors to be able to do life here with our family and have this great adventure. So if this is your first time you're here, welcome. We're thrilled you're here. We'd love for you to subscribe. If it's your time to return, then welcome back. We loved having you here. We wanted to do a coronavirus update. Some of you know this, some of you don't. We ended up having scheduled a vacation 100 years ago, it feels like, to be in Thailand for Chinese New Year. So we came out on the front end of the virus and have been here for a little while now and have no problems. We're all safe. And we were supposed to return here in a day or so, and it looks like we're not going to be able to do that. Our town is kind of closed up. Trains to and from are very irregular. There is a mandatory 14-day quarantine for foreigners coming back. Or actually, I think anyone coming in that has not been in the city for a while, they're going to mandatory quarantine. So we found it best for our family to be able to stay here and not have to quarantine up in a small room with all 4 of our kids. When we do run the likelihood of possibly we run a possibility of still crossing someone, and with my husband's recent health issues of having appendectomy, we don't know when we're going to be back in a hospital, and that's one of those risks we choose not to take right now. So we are going to stay here in Thailand for just a few days. We'll see. We wanted to kind of wait and see when they would lift the quarantine, then we would love to go back home. At this time, I would like to take a second though to talk about what you are not seeing about the coronavirus. I think that it is very much worldwide seen. It is something to be kind of worried about. I mean, I worry and check my children, and I think that's natural human tendencies. It's human nature to worry about these kind of things. You don't want it. I'm guessing if I came into a room, you knew I was from China, you would probably have a bit of anxiety with me being in there, and I am not infected, but just the knowledge of I've been in China. So that carries a lot of that with it, and that's a lot of what you see in the news. I'd like to tell you some of the things you don't see. There's a kind of a famous picture going around now, and I'm not sure I'll be able to show it or not. If I am, I'll put it right here. They're kissing each other goodbye, and she's got this big tear in her eye. It's a very emotional picture, and the caption is, he's a nurse or a doctor, and he's leaving to go into a hospital to help affected victims. And her fear, you can see it in her eyes and on her face, her fear is that she's giving her husband a kiss goodbye, possibly for the last time. Who knows if he'll be infected? Who knows if this could possibly kill him? But the sacrifice is being made by so many medical professionals to leave their family at this time, to be away from their loved ones, so that they can take care of sick and affected people, and they're trying to reduce the spread of the virus. And what a sacrifice. And I just want to bring that to light a little bit. I think some other people are as well. But I would like to say in my own words, thank you to you who are fighting so valiantly to keep this reduced, and to giving up your family time, giving up a chance for possible, or having the chance of possibly contracting the virus yourself. I thank you for that. Another way that people are being affected is they're having to shut their shops. Factories are closed down, stores are closing, vegetable sellers are not selling. All of these people are either off the streets, some by choice, others because there's mandatory closings right now, and they want to monitor where people are at all times, so that if someone does contract the virus, they'll know exactly where they've been. So they're watching what's open and what's not. They're watching who goes in and who doesn't. It's a way to try to monitor who goes where, so that they can contain this as quickly as possible. But that means that mom and pop stores, they're not having their income coming in. This is a challenge. I mean, I don't know what I would do without a month of income, or not having to be able to sell my produce. What a challenge. And this is something that people are accepting and saying, okay, this is what I have to do. This is for the good of the country. This is for the good of the world, and we're doing this together. And I think this is beautiful in its own way, because these places, these people are going without the income. However, people, neighbors, communities are coming together and they're pooling their resources. So I hear of a man that's got 100 pounds of rice that he bought, and then there's other people that have chickens, and they're just pushing together and they're making a soup for all of the people of their building or of their complex, and that takes care of them for 2 or 3 days. And then they'll figure it out again, and they do this again, and they say, oh, I know someone who just had the crops and they're not able to sell it. Let's kind of pull together, give them a little bit of money. They'll leave the crops somewhere, we'll go get it. So people are really being creative and resourceful and living together and helping each other. And it's a really great picture of, in times of need and times of challenge, how we come together and we rise to the occasion. And I think that this is such a cool time of seeing these people come together, but it is a challenge and it is hard, and these are the things that people are not seeing. They're not seeing the people that are not having their stores and businesses open. They're not seeing the people that can't leave their apartment complex because of mandatory quarantine or mandatory curfew. These are challenges. These are hard times for people that can't go out. So it's another thing to be thinking about. And the last thing I wanted to kind of bring up today was education. So they've closed schools. They do this in America. We close schools when the flu gets too bad, or when something's kind of spreading through a school for a snow day. But usually the schools are only closed for so many days. So at this point, with the holidays, schools have been closed for a while. So families that put so much stock in education, so much stock in their children going to school, these kids are at home, and they're probably doing things on their own, challenging themselves at home. But there's quite a bit of anxiety about your kid not going to school. There's quite a bit of anxiety that if your kid's not growing and learning, how are they going to keep up? And so the schools the government is working to open them. The schools are hoping to be open soon. But I think the precaution is being taken because they don't want it to spread. So they're trying to think of a way to open schools as soon as possible, or creatively get education to children so they could learn. But there are lots of parents that are thinking now about their children's education and how to keep a child at home yet have them still learning and growing. So there's just lots to think about. People are hats off. I give my hats off to all the efforts being made. I think hindsight's always 20. I think looking back, people might do something different, but I think that the greatest effort possible has been made to contain. I think the greatest effort possible has been made to help those in need. I think that this country has made great strides to take care of their people, to care for their people, and to care for the world. So if you are a person who likes to sit and meditate on things, think about others, and send good vibes, send thoughts, I ask that these days you be thinking about my beautiful country and the beautiful people that live there. I ask that you would be thinking about the choices that are being made. I think people want the best for their country. They want the best for the world. They're trying their hardest, and it's kind of hard not to be there right now. So if you will join me as I think about my neighbors, and as I think about my friends, and as I think about a country that is fervently trying to help the world and to stop this from spreading. If you would join me as we think of them today, and as we send our heart to China, because I heart China. So, if you would join me today in sending your thoughts and all of your good wishes to China, and hopefully you've seen a little more of the story today. Thanks for stopping by.